show you my toys.
Hey everybody, this is D Hunter bringing another action figure review. Today we're going to look at the Neca Friday the 13th 2009 Remake Jason figure. Now this movie, it's mediocre at best. It has a bunch of dumb stuff in it. But the design of Jason is not that bad. The way he acted in the film is not that bad either. It's a little bit perhaps bigger and bulkier. Kind of reminds me of the Rob Zombie Halloween, Michael Myers. But pretty cool figure, hopefully, nonetheless. You can see here on the front, we've got the Jason mask, Friday the 13th. The top, Friday the 13th with Jason there. The side, same thing. Other side, same thing again. And at the bottom, we've got the barcode, miscellaneous information, and some of the people that worked on the figure. And then here in the front, it's a deluxe or ultimate figure. We've got the Velcro window box packaging. You can see on this side, we've got a picture of the figure. Looking pretty cool, kind of dirty, definitely threatening. And here he is inside. Must say, I like it a lot. I don't necessarily feel like I need to have all of the Jason figures, but I wanted one from the original franchise and the remake one as well. You can see he comes with a bunch of accessories, different hands, a bunch of tools to kill people, and an alternate head. So, with no further ado, let's open him up. Alright, well now that we got this guy out of the package, here he is with all of his accessories laid out, and he comes with a nice little chunk. He's got a total of 3 hands, one alternate right hand. He's got 2 different heads, a removable hockey mask. He's got a large machete, a double-sided axe, looks like a long screwdriver, looks like an ice pick, and then a fire poker. All weapons he used to kill people in the 2009 Friday the 13th remake. Now, before we go into the accessories and the figure, let's talk about this movie for a second. This movie was mediocre, but it had a bunch of dumb stuff in there that just really made it kind of bad. And don't get me wrong, I like some of these things in general, but they don't have to be in my Jason film. At the beginning, they're camping, and it turns out to be like a huge pot farm there. So Jason is living on a huge pot farm. It makes no sense at all. Later in the film, they're having sex, titties flopping around, just so much stuff to try to appease people. And then, of course, we got a guy later. He's sitting downstairs, pulls out a bong, getting ready to look at some porn, and then Jason comes to me. It's just all those things were completely unnecessary to be in the film. If you get rid of those things, the film might be a 6.5 or 7 out of 10. That's probably a little bit too high. But with these things, it brought down to like a 4.5 out of 10. So anyway, before we look at the accessories, let's check out the actual figure. And I must say, the figure is really nice. He feels solid. He feels big. You can see some of the differences in the reboot. He's got some hair. He's got his Jason mask on top there, so one of the first things I want to do is see how does this guy look. His mask was off for just less than probably a minute in the film. God, look at this guy's face. He's deformed. His forehead is all messed up. His hair is thin. Just looks gross and disgusting. This is a freaky looking dude. But as you get a little bit lower, you can see he's got sort of the, I don't know, jacket, trench coat type thing, dirty, ripped up shirt underneath. So far, the detail, the sculpt is just fantastic. All kind of different texture, sculpting, paint all over this guy. Then he's got some pants down here, a little pouch on the side, just all kind of cool detail, rips on his knees. Looks pretty movie accurate and looks to be a pretty solid figure. And then here's the figure broken down as far as he can go with all of his removable parts detached. Like I said before, he's got a total of 3 hands, 2 heads, and the removable mask. His left hand pops off even though he has no interchangeable left hand. So next let's check out his accessories, starting off with his hands. Like I said before, he's got 3 hands, 1 left, and that hand is open. That's the only one you're going to have. And then 2 right hands. Both of them are semi-open item gripping hands. One can hold smaller items and one can hold larger items. Here he is with one of the gripping hands. And then here he is with his other gripping hand. You're really not going to see much difference from this point of view, but holding the weapons does make a big difference with the hands. So next, let's check out his heads. So here's his main head with his hockey mask on, looking pretty freaky. You can't really see that good, but his eye lines up with the hole, depending on how you switch it. There's his bad eye, the white one there, and then he has his good eye lined up. And then here he is with his mask off, very disfigured and deformed. And then here he is with his other head, kind of reminiscent of how the other Jason was before he had his hockey mask on. Overall, things looking pretty cool. It's got the eye hole for his good eye. Kind of looks like mummified. Detail's nice. Sculpting is nice. Love having the different options there. Next, let's check out his weapons. He's got a total of 5 of them. Let's check out each one in detail. So first of all, let's look at his fire poker. I must say, this accessory here is extremely thin. Be careful with it. You can see it's a little bit flimsy. It can be bent. It could snap pretty easy. You can see it's got the poker on one side and a handle on the other side. And then here he is, getting ready to finish off a victim with this fire poker. And then who would have thought you could also actually use this thing for a fire poker. Here's Alfred keeping the fire going for his master Bruce Wayne. Next, let's look at his screwdriver. This thing's a little bit oversized, long. It's not a Phillips, it's one of those kind of odd screwdrivers. Green handle, some real nice sculpting work on this thing. Even though it's small, some really good detail. And then here he is, offering to finish off the other eye to little Carl here. Next, let's check out this ice pick type thing. This thing here has some pretty nice detail on it. You can see a lot of sculpting, the jagged edges at the top. It's got some silver, some black. You can see the handle. It's got a little bit of detail to it. Overall, it's a pretty decent accessory. And here's this unsuspecting girl just walking in front of him. Next, we've got his axe. Now this is going to have to utilize his slightly larger gripping hand. You can see silver tips at the top. Looking pretty good. I mean, it's an axe. And here he is getting ready to swing this axe on this terrified victim. And then last but not least, we've got what has sort of become Jason's stereotypical weapon. Very, very large machete. This thing here, nice silver blade, very large. And you can see the handle here, nice gripping detail on it, and some different paints and a lot of sculpt. And here he is getting ready to end this guy with his machete. And then here he is charging off to find his next victim. And here he is picking out some weapons for the sequel. Now that we've taken a very in-depth look at his accessories, next let's check out the height of this figure. So this figure here, from bottom to top, is sitting at just a hair above 7.5 inches. I'd say about 7.6 inches. Next, let's check out this guy's articulation. So this guy here, his head, of course, can go from side to side. Can go down that far, which is pretty nice, and up that far. Shoulders on a ball joint, they go out full 90 degrees. You can kind of see it inside of there. And go forward, back, all the way around. His elbows, single jointed, and go about 90 degrees in, and there's a swivel above that. His hands are kind of on a ball joint, there's a little peg inside there, so of course they can rotate all the way around, and then kind of swivel around as well. He doesn't seem to have any sort of ab articulation up here, it's just like sort of one solid piece. He's got a ball joint, it can go rotate around, it can go forward and back, down here as well. His legs go about 90 degrees, not quite, but if you push it very close. There's a ball joint inside of here, but the leg itself can actually move independently of the ball joint. His legs can go forward about that much, back really not very much at all. His knees single jointed, they can go this far in, and there's a swivel above them as well. Then his foot, of course, it can go up and down, not very much on really either one. It can turn from side to side a little bit. It can't really rock much, it can tilt just a little bit. Next, let's check this guy out compared with some other action figures. Let's go ahead and start off by comparing him with some other Jason action figures that I have. I sure don't have all of them. Didn't feel like I needed all of them, but I wanted to get at least a traditional and a remake Jason. Here he is with the 4 different Jason figures that I own. I must say, he's bulkier and stockier than the other guys. He's a little bit taller, not by too much. Him and Roy are pretty much the same height, but he's just overall a bigger and thicker guy, thicker figure. Here they are with all of their weird and grotesque, deformed looking heads with no masks on. And then here are these two guys' alternate heads compared to each other. As you can see, they're definitely not the same, not like they just re-released it. They both have a different look to them. Both are done very, very well. You can see his good eye through there and whatnot. And then here he is next to a bunch of different horror icons. I believe these are all from Neca toys over the years. And then speaking of remakes, here we got the original Jason versus the remake, original Freddy versus the remake, and original Pennywise versus the remake. Here he is as he's getting hunted down by some cops. These guys have no idea what they're in for. Let's go ahead and call the experts from that Myers case. Next, let's check him out compared with some other companies' action figures, in case you want to mix him, or you're just curious how he fits in both scale and style-wise. Here he is with some DST figures, Diamond Select Toys. And here he is next to some McFarlane Toys action figures. Here he is next to some of his NECA brothers. These are NECA action figures from various lines. And then next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And here he is next to some Mattel wrestling figures. And here he is next to some Mezco 1/12 cloth soft goods action figures. And here next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here he is next to some Mafex action figures. And here next to some Hasbro Marvel Legends figures. And then here next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. So I personally must say, I like this figure. He's big, he's beefy, I like that in the action figure. Makes him very intimidating. Regardless how you feel about the movie, this is a pretty good figure. The likeness is good, and it translates well to action figure form. The texture, the sculpting, the paint, it's just absolutely excellent and crisp all over this guy. The accessories are pretty nice and very useful in my action figure world. So if I were to rate this guy, I'd go and give him a 7 out of 10. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add it in the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.